Yo! Welcome! It's some faction focus, baby! Yeah, I'm wearing the same t-shirt as yesterday, who cares? There's a brand new faction focus for Space Marines. We're going to try a quick fire live stream. It is like 20 minutes max. I think that's it. Are we definitely live? Let me just double check. It looks like we're live. Hello! So welcome in. I just had to update my title and thumbnail whilst because I thought it was going to go live an hour ago. There is a brand new article called Warhammer 40,000 Faction Focus Space Marines. I haven't read this and I haven't watched the video because it is private. So I'm interested to see what they've got planned for this one. I don't know if there's any. I imagine there's going to be stuff about detachments, but I don't know if there's going to be anything about rules and stuff. But let's have a look. Let me know if you can see me and hear me okay. And let's begin. Grimslayer, thank you for the gift. I really appreciate it. What a legend. Our Warhammer 40,000 Faction Focus series continues with a look at the Space Marines and their non-codex brethren. Learn how they play and get an exclusive first look at the new detachments. How to cover as many of the highlights in the accompanying video dives into even more detail, particularly on the chapter-specific detachments, which we can't currently watch. Games Workshop and one job. Isn't it always funny how it's never that simple, is it? It's just never that simple. So welcome in. Hello, everybody. Hello. Grimslayer, thank you again for the gifted. Really appreciate it. Stork, before I keep reading, Stork did say that we're probably going to lose Oath of Moment, which I would, funnily enough, totally agree with. So let's see what they actually do. We begin with a deeper delve into the Fulguris Task Force. So this is new. Fulguris we've not seen before. Or Fulguris Task Force. If you like anti-grav speeder units like the new Land Speeder from the Warhammer 40,000 Armageddon box set, this attachment is for you. Load up on the Land Speeders and Storm Speeders, you'll be able to make an ingress move on turn 1. Do you remember yesterday when we were like, oh, look at all these rules where you can't wrap an ingress turn 1? Now you can. So it says friendly Land Speeder / Storm Speeder Hail Strike / Storm Speeder Hammer Strike / Storm Speeder Thunder Strike units have Speeder, which is a keyword. And then in your first movement phase, friendly Speeder units can make an ingress move. That is pretty fucking good, you know, especially because the what was I using? The Storm Speeder, the Hammer Strike. It's got a bunch of Deep Strike. Sorry, it's not a bunch of Deep Strike. It's got a bunch of Melter Guns. Yeah, it's the Ingress is the new name for reserves. So Ingress is like a deep strike, essentially. Dan Elliott, thank you for the 20 months, dude. Really appreciate it. Yeah, so being able to deep strike turn 1 essentially, with a bunch of melter, give out ignore cover, because that's what the hammer strike does currently. If you target a unit and hit it, you give ignores cover to the rest of your army. So you can have one drop. Give out ignores cover. It shoots like 9 strength 9 and then D3 or D3 damage shots, and then the next one gets ignored cover against it. So that's pretty fucking good. That's pretty decent. So deep strike turn 1 for speeders. This is great to drop a number of devastating heavy weapons. Is that where your opponent doesn't want to see them right at the start of the battle? You know, fucking turn one deep strike. Always famously been really healthy for the game, definitely. Blasted by enemy fortifications with a hammer strike. No one's taking fortifications. I'm just going to kill the opponent. Destroy vehicles with a hail strike and gun down infantry with a thunder strike. The bellicose weapon spirits enhancement. Here we go. Right, we can already deep strike turn 1. That's already pretty strong. It makes it more likely your speeders will do some serious damage after its unexpected arrival. As an upgrade, it can be given to one of your non-character units to make it even more dangerous. These can re-roll the damage roll and the number of shots. Like I said, the hammer strike, the one with the melter cannon, it's a 3-shot melter cannon. It's got 2 multi-missile launchers, and then it's got 2 like grenade launchers with the same strength, high AP, but only D3 damage. It's like 9 shots that are D6 or D3 damage. Yeah, let's just fucking give it re-roll damage rolls. Sure, why not? Oath of Moment, as far as I'm aware, still in. Maybe not the +1 to wound, but Oath of Moment still in. Re-rolling hits, re-rolling damage. Bruh. It's unlikely your army will take all that firepower to the face without wanting some level of vengeance. Thankfully, you can use reactive evasion strategy to keep your speeders out of reach. I just want to say, fucking the reason I was running white scars for so long is because, like, taking a Storm Raven, all the speeders and making them exceptionally defensive was really strong. Now I can take all the good stuff in Gladius and then the speeder stuff separately, which is pretty fun. So it says, your opponent's movement phase when an enemy unit ends within 8 inches from an unengaged speeder, the speeder can make a normal move up D3+3. That's pretty fun. That's pretty funny. Yeah, there's a lot of rules. There's going to be a lot of rules bloat, it feels like, with this. Or not even rules bloat, just like, what do they call it? Formation bloat. Yeah, in 7th edition, there was a bit of a problem with taking formations where you took certain units together and they got an exceptional amount of rules and exceptionally strong rules for taking them together at 0 cost. It's starting to feel like that. It's definitely starting to feel like that. Do you want to alpha strike your opponent with a couple of cheap 100 and 120 point speeders? Fuck it, go for it. Do you know what else you can take? Some really horrific combat units that can follow them up. Just take a better detachment to go with them. I'm trying to stay positive. I'm feeling quite nervous about this detachment malarkey. But it's live, yeah, I know. Yeah, we're back up to like 18 stratagems, you know, for taking 3 detachments, probably more like 12. But yeah, I'm trying to stay positive. I'm trying to stay excited. I'm cautiously wary about it though. So anyway, we've got Librarius Conclave, the new librarian. Looks so good, to be fair. Looks so good. ATV in the picture with the new librarian and the new land speeder. So Varak is backtracking like fuck. I don't know if you've heard. Well, it says if you prefer to use mind bullets rather than actual ones, or like to gang up to claim fines to the late returns of your books, the Librarius Conclave is for you. So we already have a Librarius Conclave currently. I'm gonna double check like what the actual wording for it is before I look at the new one. But Librarius Conclave was one that was like given, I think it was a Grotmus, one of the first Grotmus ones. And yeah, start battle round, select one of the psychic disciplines at the end of the battle round. That psychic discipline is active and applies to all Adeptus Astartes psychic units from your army. So it's +2 move, reroll a hit and wound of 1, improve the AP of 1 if you're within 12, subtract 1 from the strength. Yeah, subtract 1 from the strength of attacks targeting you, and then ignore modifiers, basically. The old Decurion bloat issues, but with extra complications. Yeah, exactly. With the amount of detachments, the detachment points are going to be absolutely crucial, and I'm never confident with balancing from GW. So, Psychic Disciplines. Start the battle round. So one of your following Psychic Disciplines. Friendly Adepts Astartes Psychics have the ability to learn in the battle round. +2 move, it's the same. Reroll hits and wounds of 1, it's the same. Increase the AP within 12, it's the same. Ready to attack the units have -1 strength, it's the same. And ignore ballistic skill, weapon skill, and hit modifiers. It's the same. So, Librarius Conclave still in. I quite like this attachment as it was in 10th edition. I thought it was pretty fun. I think it gets outshined by detachments now, but when it came out, it seemed pretty cool. Definitely had some real tricks, especially with the Stern Guard devastating wound bomb that you could drop. Each discipline also opens up access to additional psychic power if your librarians are experts in telekinesis. Not only will their units be harnessed to wound, but they'll also be able to use Temporal Corridor to disappear a drop of hat and only to reappear via Deep Strike. So it says Temporal Corridor, Astartes model only. At the end of your opponent's fight phase, you can place this unit Strat Reserve. If this unit has Telekinesis Discipline, this unit has Deep Strike. That is new. Temporal Corridor. Yeah, that's completely new. That's a pretty fun one. Let me have a look at see what the other one's about Telekinesis. The Telekinesis buff was the Fusillade, which gave your unit anti-monster and anti-vehicle 5+. Sustained if your pyromancy is active, or +6 inch range if telekinesis is active. So I wonder if the anti-monster, anti-vehicle ability has gone, because that's what you use to tie in with the Stern Guard to make them exceptionally good, because Oath of Moment gives them reroll hits. Oath of Moment for Stern Guard gives you reroll wounds, and then anti-monster, anti-vehicle 5+ allows them to just like absolutely obliterate a unit, because you're rerolling wounds and doing devastating wounds on 5s. It was pretty good. So I enjoy Librarius, very Blood Ravens, but it's very hard to keep track of stuff in it. Yeah, it's a little bit, it's a very involved detachment, but it's kind of like once you played it once or twice, it's fairly straightforward. Now that you can use it, combine it with other detachments, the value has gone up. Yeah, of course, if you take in a couple of librarians, then the problem with Librarius Conclave was only the units that had librarians in them, or inquisitors, because of the keyword jank that you could do, because it's Adeptus Astartes Psyker. If you attach an inquisitor, which is a Psyker, to an Astartes unit, such as like intercessors, they're Adeptus Astartes. The Psyker confers the Psyker keyword. The Adeptus Astartes confers the Adeptus Astartes keyword. So the inquisitor units could benefit from this. You start to like really run out of units to attach librarians to. So this is one of the benefits of this multiple detachment malarkey, is where I can take like 1 to 2 units with just librarians in there, and even just a couple of librarians, and put them in this detachment. As far as we're aware, we don't have a force organization for it. So we can put just the characters in, and then the units that benefit from it will get this ability. And then potentially the units that we attach them to, because we don't know how that works yet, but the units we attach librarians to will not only get this buff, but they might get the Gladius buff, for example, because I'm taking a librarian that's from Librarius Conclave and attaching it to a unit that's in Gladius. We don't know how that works yet. I imagine it probably does. If it doesn't, you can just take just the units that you actually care about giving the Gladius buff, such as, like, let's say you want to take the Sternguard bomb. You know, let's take the Sternguard bomb, let's take a librarian, that's our detachment, we'll drop that into our army, and then we can still take Gladius or something similar, you know what I mean? So it's definitely an interesting one. I'm just very curious about all this like synergy that could be a thing, that also can't be a thing. I don't know. It's definitely an interesting one. The Space Marine focus video is almost an hour long. Right, okay, we're not watching that because I've got a meeting in 20 minutes. We don't know how this synergy works. They haven't really discussed it. They also haven't really explained, except for you could take multiple detachments. They haven't really explained anything. So, they said in the previous article that your attachments apply to your whole army. It's all based on the keywords. So potentially what I've just said is probably doable then. You'll be able to take the psychic discipline and attach that to a unit that's in Gladius, and they'll maybe get both, or they'll confer it to the same unit. I don't know. It's all hearsay. It's all he said, she said, until we see a rule book, which is the great and bad thing about these preview articles, is that it's all hearsay. We don't really know. It's infuriating that they didn't preface this week with you'll get X many strats / enhancements total. It's annoying that I think other YouTubers have access to this and I don't. I'm going off it live. Very annoying. It'd just be nice to just like, they're always going to drip feed. If you think about it, we've got about 20 factions are going to do one a day, which means we've got about 3 weeks of this before we get like finalized, like this is when things are coming out, this is when things are happening, you know. It's all drip feeding. It's all just to keep you coming back to the website every day and coming back to Hellstormwargaming every day that I bother streaming. Subscribe if you haven't already, would really appreciate it. Okay, so Subversion Assets. So this is a new one as well. So we've actually seen 2 new Space Marine ones out of the 30 that are probably coming. Finally, there's some Subversion Assets detachment, which focuses on scout squads and Phobos armored Space Marines. There's no place to hide for these elite infiltrators thanks to their detachment rules. Once they've detected an enemy unit, then the rest of your army also know where it is. Rest of your army, not rest of your detachment. Which is telling me there's going to be a lot of crossover in terms of rules. So, friendly Phobos scout unit have the following ability. Transhuman perception. In your shooting phase, each enemy unit can select a visible enemy unit within 12. The enemy unit is detected. While an enemy unit is detected, that unit has +3 detection range. Is this just to ignore hidden? Usually a unit is no longer hidden after it is shot. But your Phobos and Scout Squads are so skilled and sneaky that your enemies still don't know where they are, even if the bullets start flying. Simply strike from the shadows, shoot down enemy troops, and show your foe can't retaliate. So is detection... What's detection range? What's detection range? Your shooting phase, so strike from the shadows, 1 TP. Your shooting phase of 5 phase, a friendly Phobos or Scout unit has shot, target that Phobos/scout unit. Those ranged attacks do not prevent your unit from being hidden, so they can stay hidden. So detection range is probably the hidden mechanic. So if you can't target them unless you're within 15, they're making it 18 inches. That's what they've kind of said, right? This isn't that great. We had a night fight. We basically had a night fighting back in, but with little torches. Little torches on our Phobos models. Okay, so they can extend the threat range or the targeting range for hidden by 3. That's what we're saying. That is not great. I hope this detachment's free. I'll take one single unit of scouts and be like, yeah, you can see them fuckers now. That's it. I'm not mega excited about it. You can also make one of your characters more covert and clandestine with a shroud field enhancement. Phobos model only. This model has lone operative and stealth. I'm not just taking the fucking lieutenant with combi weapon, you know what I mean? You know? I'm not just taking the lieutenant with combi weapon. Combine these two abilities to make your Space Marine even more survivable. We've got lone operative. Unless patched attached unit, this unit is not visible to any models that are within 12 inches, and it cannot be targeted by indirect unless an attacking model is within 12 inches. Not visible is an interesting one. That's an interesting way to do it. It kind of makes the same sense. It works exactly the same way. Just an interesting way to rewrite it. He's getting legends. This is a 1 point ass detachment. True, me reading this detachment. Literally barely a point. Half a point. And then stealth, if every model of this unit has this ability, each time range attack that this model has the benefit of cover. We already know that benefit of cover is -1 to hit now. So yeah, basically these rules are basically identical. Okay. So no mention of Oath of Moment. So either they're holding that one back, or they just it's staying the same. Stealth nerfed. Stealth doesn't start with cover now. Yeah, it's essentially the same, but it's cover that's been nerfed because stealth is currently -1 to hit. You know, but you won't be able to stack it with the benefit of cover, which is also -1 to hit. So would have been to be able to get -2. Yeah, obviously would have with the game that isn't out yet. Yeah, it's only -1, which is the same as what stealth is now, but you can't stack it with anything else. Oath is on one of the marine cards have shown. Don't know if it's changed though. Yeah, Oath of Moment as a rule will stick around. Whether the rule functions the same way is the question, I think. As if the +1 -1 cap stays. Yeah, but stealth as a function is basically the same. You just can't get stealth and then +1 armor save. Okay, we've got Black Templars as well, actually. No wonder the video is 1 hour long. We got Black Templars Living Miracle. So I'm not sure about the Black Templars detachments, but they get 3 new detachments. When they say that, they don't actually mean new. They mean 3 detachments that you may or may not have seen before. So what's this one called? This one is new, though. Living Miracle. I've not heard of that one. We've got Companies of Vehemence, Godhammer Assault Force, Vindication Task Force, and Wrathful Procession. So, the Black Templars get 3, including ones that you field an even more powerful Empress Champion. Again, just sounding like formations. You know? It just sounds like formations. Which I don't like. Anointed Champion. When a friendly Empress Champion unit is selected to fight, that model's melee attacks can reroll 1 hit and 1 wound roll. Enhancements selected from this detachment do not count towards the total number of enhancements for your army. But your army can include about 10 parts and include any other chapter. So even though we've got multiple detachments, we still can't mix factions. We can't take a detachment of Blood Angels and a detachment of Black Templars. I think they've made that pretty clear. Space Marine plays a detachment doesn't give them infinite mortal wounds. It says dog shit. Yeah. What do you mean? Of course I do. It did look dog food. Where was my mortal wound, Mom? An Emperor Champion is already pretty handy in the fight, but this can make them true close combat beat state. Why not try 2 extra attacks, devastating wounds, and causing more wounds whenever he falls back? Now it's talking. Cracked detachment. Great. It's actually fine detachment. What the fuck is his list? Excuse me, wait a minute, what? I was like, oh, wait, what? Guided Omens, Empress Champion model only, which is basically doesn't count towards the number of enhancements, because I think they said you can have 4 in 11th edition. At the start of the first battle, you select up to 3 of the following abilities. This model has those abilities till the end of the battle. So you can choose any 3. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. Is it the champion epic hero can't take enhancements? I don't actually know. That's a great question. Emperor's champion. He's not an epic hero. He's just cool. Is there a limit of like you can only take 1 maybe? Chosen the Emperor, you cannot include more than 1. So he's functionally like an epic hero, but he's not an epic hero. So Instrument of the God Emperor, once per battle per army. Okay, in the fight phase, when this unit is selected to fight, if this unit is engaged in an enemy character, you can use its ability. If you do, this model's melee attacks have devastating wounds. Alright, let's have a look at the profile, shall we? So he's rerolling a hit and a wound with 6 attacks, strength 8, -3, 3 damage, anti-character 5+, precision, or a sweep attack at 10 attacks. So you can make those dev wounds. Pretty good. Pretty fucking good. This model has a -3 detection range, so foreseen pass of the unholy. So his hidden ability will be 12 inches. And he can attach to unit, so it's the unit will get a hidden ability, or essentially lone operative 12 until they shoot. Ooh, interesting. This model's melee attacks can have +2 attacks, so you can have 8 attacks at strength 8, -3, 3 damage, reeling a hit and a wound. And devastating, and detection 3, -3. Per army per detachment. Well, you can usually take 1 enhancement, so I don't understand the once per battle per army. I'm not sure what that means just yet. Melee attacks attack this unit have hazardous. That's pretty fun. Omen of the Sacred Intervention. When you target this unit with a heroic intervention stratagem that uses -1 command point. That's exceptionally good. Heroic in for 1 TP or 3, depend. Yeah, 1 TP will be really good. Harbinger of Judgment. When enemy unit, excluding mods or vehicle, engaged with this model is selected to fall back. Roll 1d6 on a 2+. That unit suffers d6 mortal wounds. Nice. I mean, how often do you get a chance to fall back from a tooled up Empress champion? Not often. Per army is probably just curb black and mirror match. Stupid fan question. Yeah, I don't understand it, because it's like you only have it once. Once per battle covers you. Unless he's trying to set up for like 2v2. I don't know. Oh, really good. Like once per game devastating wounds is pretty good. You're already real on a hit and a wound. You obviously got like Oath of Moment, etc., or like the Black Templars equivalent of Oath of Moments. +2 attacks is probably the best one, and then I think the best ones are probably +2 attacks, devastating wounds, and 3 heroic intervention. But obviously, I haven't played with this hidden ability, so that could be way better than I realize. Other models have ability the same name. Yeah, maybe. It just doesn't, obviously, like out of context, it doesn't mean anything. So, Black Templars, quite interesting, definitely. We got Blood Angels, Wrath of the Doomed. This is a long article. One who's still pretty angry about the death of their Primarch. One of their 3 new detachments focus on the Death Company. So you got Fanatical Celerity. When a friendly Death Company unit is selected to make an advanced move, you can use this ability. If you do, you suffer D3 +1 mortal wounds. That move does not prevent that unit from being able to declare a charge. Oh, so you can take D3 wounds to advance a charge. Yeah, fucking sure, why not? Yeah, I'll lose 1 Space Marine, 1.5 Space Marines, but then I'll get a feel of pain against it, and I get advance and charge all the time, so I can just use this and save my command points for good stratagems. This detachment has the doomed tag and cannot be taken with another doomed detachment, and also you can't take multiple factions. That's pretty fun. It's going to kill 1 or 2 Death Company Space Marines unless you make a feel no pain roll. Make one feel no pain roll, you're laughing. You can even get angry on your opponent's turn with the instinctive interception. So one enhancement is called, when you attack units with heroic stratagem, heroic intervention stratagem, it is -1 CP. Also pretty fucking good. Yeah, free heroic intervention or not having it increased with Vex is really good. So heroic has stayed the same by the looks of it. Let's have a look. Any approach charge phase, 1 friendly unengaged unit within 12 of 1 or more enemy units. Wait a minute. That's within 12, not within 6. Okay, it's not the same. Let me have a proper read of this. Sorry. You can only select a vehicle to heroic if it's a character or walker. Resolve a charge with your unit. While doing so, before making the charge roll, you must select one of the following modes. Leap to defend. When selecting charge targets, you're going to select enemy unit that has made a charge move this phase and are within the maximum charge distance. Or into the fray. When making that charge roll, if the result is greater than 6 after modifiers, change it to a 6. So max charge of 6. When selecting charge target, you select any enemy units that are within 6 inches of your unit and within the maximum charge distance, but it's +1 CP. So you can almost auto charge 6 inches, and it's any unit within 6. This is the counter charge, but without needing them to charge within 6. Right? This is kind of like it's kind of like the Dark Angel stratagem, but it's 2 CP. Interesting. It's a counter charge or a charge your opponent's turn with caveats. Yeah, quite an expensive caveat. Has to be within 6. You can't charge more than 6. But it's 2 CP to game-wide or interrupt charge, or you can counter charge. Oof. But it'll pair well with the -1 CP enhancement. Yeah, literally. So it'll be free or 1 CP to charge within 6 for any unit. This is really good. This is really, really, really good. Oof. Right, we've got another stratagem for the Wrath of Doomed. Your opponent's shoot phase when enemy unit that targeted a friendly unengaged Death Company unit has shot, you can make a surge move up to 6. Yeah, cool. I like surge moves. Surge moves are really strong. Surge moves cool. Love that. Love that. Great stratagem. Surge moves are probably going to be the same. But yeah, great strat. That feels so punishing shooting army trying to get within rapid fire / melter range. Yeah. If you don't kill it, you should be punished for it. You can't just you're going to get shot and killed anyway, but if you want to not get countercharged, don't be within 6. You know? You can only charge within 6, don't forget, with Into the Fray. Leap to defend, you can only target a unit that charged. So just don't be within 6 when you melter. I think it's fine. Surge move is a core ability. Yeah, it almost basically is right now. It's just they copy paste it all the way. No charge bonus, so they might have changed that part of the charges. Yeah, I wouldn't read into too much of wording missing, but yeah, that could be a case. Right, Dark Age Arsenal. Dark Angels love their plasma weaponry, and the Dark Age Arsenal lets you unleash it to its maximum destructive effect. Friendly Astartes units, weapons profiles with plasma in their name are plasma weapons. Plasma weapons have +1 strength. That's funny. You can't. That's it. So that's the entire thing. So Hellblasters having literally the best day ever, and maybe the Deep Strike, Gravis, Plasmarine Scepters. There we go. Found it. What happens when you try enemies try and stay out of range, thinking themselves are safe from your wrath? The Petition of Stability upgrade adds 6 inch range to your plasma. That's a whopping 25% increase. So plasma attacks have plus 6 inch range. That's pretty good, especially when you got rapid fire. Pretty decent. Is puzzle strength going to push them after push them past any breakpoints? The plasma gun is like strength 7, strength 8, right? So it'll become strength 9, strength 10. Sorry, strength 8, strength 9. The big plasma is strength 9 and strength 10, so it goes from 10 to 11 when you overcharge. So that will be definitely a breakpoint. So yeah, the big one, on the Redemptor will be pretty good. The little ones, a little bit of a benefit, definitely. No sacrifice too great. Your shooting phase when a Adepts have started unit selected to shoot. Your units have hazardous. Your unit's hazardous plasma range attacks have +1 strength. So that's +2 strength for 1 CP. So then your basic unit is going from strength 7 to strength 8 basic. If they overcharge to strength 9, now to strength 10. That's pretty good. Yeah, strength 10. Really, really good. We did a lot of light vehicles on 4s. We did basically all infantry on 2s. How many have we got? Space Wolves and then another one? No. One more. Yeah, it's really good. That's really good. This is a fun, like, if you just like taking Hellblasters, having the best day. Redemptors, you're probably not taking them as a detachment because they only benefit from the plasma rather than everything else that they're equipped with. But seems pretty good. So Champions of Fenris, we already have Champions of Fenris, I believe. But it says friendly Adeptus Astartes infantry character units have the following ability: countercharge once per battle round per unit. That actually makes more sense for once per battle round per unit. Do they have Plasma Bikers? Yeah, they have Ravenwing, right? Yeah, that's a pretty good shout. Yeah, they have Ravenwing. Black Knights have twin plasma on the front. So, yeah, I obviously went to Hellblasters to seeing these, and that's what was all I could think of as these 2 units. But yeah, you got Inceptors, which can benefit from it, and you've got Plasma Bikes. But again, they're a combat unit with plasma guns. So, I can feel the narrative dripping from these rules. How does GW keep knocking out of the park with all this flavor? Yeah, there's a lot that, like I said, I can say on one hand, it's like, well, you know, all of this looks really broken when you combo it all together. But yeah, there is flavor in this, definitely. Excuse me. Okay, so Champions of Fenris. Infantry character units have the following ability. You can target this unit with the heroic stratagem, regardless of any use of that stratagem this phase. If you do, excuse me, this unit does not prevent the use of any stratagem in any of the units this phase. So one character can heroic intervention with another unit. I was being sarcastic. Right, okay, cool. Good for you. Anyway. So yeah, Space Wolves can heroic intervention, and then another unit can heroic intervention at the same time. That's pretty good. It's once per battle round per unit. Yeah. You can target this regardless of any other use of this strat. You can still... interesting. Yeah, so they can all heroic once per battle round per unit. Yeah, all of them can heroic, and then another unit can actually use it properly. I got completely thrown off by someone being an asswipe. Yeah, you can, each character can use heroic in addition to the first unit that uses heroic. Shit, okay. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. Spacels aren't mindless berserkers, but prefer to set funny traps for enemies. Being able to countercharge multiple characters and their attack units in a single enemy charge phase is terrifying prospect for your opponent. And also, they can charge basically anything within 6. They can charge anything within 6, you know what I mean? Couple of surge moves here and there, you know? Set up some little sneaky, oh, I'm behind this wall, so you can't quite get to me, you can't quite shoot me, but you'll have to end up within 6 if you want to. And they are heroic, with the new heroic rules. That does sound very wolfy. Almost like he's dripping with flavour. So you can name your characters a giant amongst giants and make them even mightier. Any Astartes infantry model, +2 wounds and +1 strength in combat. That's pretty decent depending on the points. Yeah, +2 wounds is nice. Making basic characters up to like 8 wounds or something stupid. Your Wolfguard battle leader with Storm Shield and Thunderhammer now has 8 wounds and hits at strength 9 in combat. This scout Jolt will be surely be singing of his deeds. Self-pay CP for each heroic. I never said it was free. Yeah, you have to pay for each one. I don't know if I said it was free. Didn't mean to. They can all use it though. Finally, the Storm Between World stratagem helps keep your champion and their squad alive thanks to the stealth ability. When your opponent shoots phase on enemy unit targets a friendly adept starting infantry character, you get stealth. Space Wolves have a CP reduction character. Yeah, I mean, any Space Marine captain equivalent has rights of battle. That's a free heroic intervention. I think that's what we're saying. Having multiple ways to like CP generation, which I think you can get with like enhancements and stuff. If you can take multiple enhancements, then sure. Multiple detachments, then you can take another enhancement that gives you CP generation. You can also just save them up because you get 2 a turn. 2 a battle round even. So yeah, you can use heroic multiple times, free charge within 6, without them charging, but you do have to spend command points. Bjorn, yeah, Bjorn generates CP, right? Discard a secondary, gains a CP. Don't spend them on stealth because it's pretty rubbish, and then you've got one to heroic with. This can be useful unit as finding itself out in the open, having slain their foes and not need to rely on their guild to survive. There you go. An ingress move is a new name for arriving strategic reserve regardless of whether you're deep striking, teleporting, or using more arcane methods to arrive. So ingress is just explaining you are arriving from reserves. Because I think there's a lot of confusion about strategic reserves and reserves this edition. There's still questions that I get asked at tournament about like what feels like a very basic thing, but it's just because it isn't very clear. So get Beyond on a watch list. Generating CP can't build. Fuck. True. Alright. Quite a lot of information there. A lot of factions altogether. Obviously, trying to get all of the Space Marine factions all done in one article. There's a lot to take in here. All of the detachments, barring the Phobos ones, sound like they've got some cool play. This first one sounds absolutely horrific. Tier 1 deep striking with a fucking hammer strike. Sounds dumb as fuck. Sounds absolutely dumbo. Storm speeder. Hammer strike. Yeah, T9, 14-inch move, wounds 3. Wounds 11, OC 3. Range weapons, it's got a 3-shot melter gun. 2 hammer strike missile launchers, and then a crack storm grenade launcher because it has equipped with 1 hammer strike missile launcher, 2 crack storm grenade launchers, and melter destroyer. So it has 2 more, 5, 7 shots that are D6 or D3 damage that are now rerolling damage. Oh yeah, no mention of Deathwatch. Quicks, that's a good point. Let me do this. So yeah, and then each time it's modeling this has shots like whatever unit ignore cover, so no one else have the -1 to hit. So all of these shots re-rolling damage because of the enhancement, deep striking turn 1. But yeah, importantly, no mention of Deathwatch. Are they going to be wrapped into the Imperial Agents book? Are they just going to be Space Marines? Are demons going to be gone finally? I've already made my thumbnail for demons. I don't think I'll be using it. I think they might be getting legends for a second time if they're not mentioned in the Space Marine article, because they are a Space Marine. Will they have a separate article for Deathwatch? That could happen. We're definitely going to get a separate article for Grey Knights, which are Space Marines, but not really Space Marines. And Deathwatch are not Space Marines, but are Space Marines. Does that make sense? They kind of are, but aren't. But also, Grey Knights aren't, but are. So, if they Legends by Deathwatch again, I'm going to a different game system. Anyway, chat, thanks so much for watching. Appreciate it. That was Faction Focused Space Marines. I'll be back tomorrow morning. For a Wednesday show at 10. Or 10:30, sorry. And then maybe a bonus one when this article comes out. Thanks for watching. Love you all. Bye-bye. Bye. What did he keep it like video levs?